Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Melina from Me Crafty Scrapper on Instagram and here on YouTube. Today I wanted to share with you a few ways that I use my scraps to make borders for my pages. I am using some basil white cardstock. It's pretty heavyweight, and I'm going to make a few different types of borders today. One will be all about washi. One will be about stamping. One will be all about paper punches. And then, last but not least, one will be about scrap pieces of pattern paper. And I'm going to show you how you can use just your little scrap bits to get a very pretty border made for your scrapbook pages. These borders that I am making are 2 inches by 12 inches. And for this first one, it's going to be all about pattern paper. And I'm cutting these 3 inches by 1 inch. So all of these will be strips half inch by 3. So 3 inches by half inch. And I'm cutting probably 10 to 12 of each pattern just to make sure that I have enough of each color for the pattern that I'm going to make with this pattern paper. I'm going to do them on the diagonal, and that is why you are needing it wider than the 2 inches, because you need that hang off on either end. I'm putting some score tape here. This is actually the off brand of score tape. I'm out of my regular width, and I took all that backing off, and now I am lining all of my designer paper up, or pattern paper up, and then I turn it over and get my really sharp cutter bee scissors and start cutting off all the excess around that original border piece. And then there is my completed, for now. I will be doing a little extra to that in just a moment. But that was the pattern paper border. Now we are going to get into some stamping. This will be my stamped border. I'm using a couple of stamp sets here. This is a Bow Bunny background stamp set that I'm using, and this first one is, I don't know, it might be like a burlap maybe pattern. So that's the first little stamp that I'll be using here. And I'm just going to repeat the stamp over and over and over until I get to the end of the border. And I'm not worried about any of this where it might be a little absent in places, a little white in places where I didn't maybe push down on the stamp enough. I'm not concerned about that at all, because this is going to be a very layered stamped border. So all the little imperfections that I see right now, I will be covering up with other stamped images on top of that background that I just stamped. Now I'm going to use a different color of the Memento ink. I just used the Tuxedo Black, and now I'm going to use that Cocoa Brown color with this tree trunk image here, just to fill in just a few of the wider spots, and that's whiter, not wider. My Alabama accent kind of throws you off a little bit when I say that, the whiter spots on this border. And then I'll put that ink up and that stamp set up, and I'm going to go to this this other nature stamp set by Amuse Studio, and it is a red rubber stamp set, so it doesn't cling as well to my acrylic block, but I make it work. I'm using some of the olive green ink from Stamp It Up there for this greenery stamped image. And I'm just going to do 3 different spots with this one. And then I'll go on to another image or another stamp that's in this same stamp set. And I'm going to get out another blue color, another one of my Memento colors, and it will be a darker teal color, and then I've got that sky blue color also. But I'm going to fill in some of the plain spots here with this darker teal color. And this is another reason why that Stamp It Up grid paper that I love so much and is in so many of my videos. I just love that stuff because you can stamp off on it, and in a minute I'll turn it over and I'll use the back side of it. I just love being able to stamp off of something and that grid paper catches all of it. Now I'm stamping with that sky blue color, the same image, but just in different spots, just to kind of fill in and take away from some of that white background. And I really like how that looks, but I want to add some matting to the back, and so I got some olive scrap paper just out of my scrap bin, and I think it's that old olive by Stamp It Up, and I am matting that behind there, and then I will mat that on some gray cardstock. There we go. And there is that finished border, and I really think that the background cardstocks really set that off. I love how that turned out. Very pretty. Okay, so our next border that I'll show you is a layered border also, and it's going to be using some paper punches. So we're going to get out some of our paper punches and get to work getting this one all dolled up. Now I'll put that blue color on the back of it, and I put this other blue color on top of that white, and I don't really like how it looks, so I'm going to cut that down about 1/8 of an inch just so I can get the look that I'm wanting. And I'm satisfied with that. So I get my circle punch out and some more of that gray cardstock that I just got through using on that stamped border. And I'm going to cut or punch 2 larger circles and then a smaller circle. And then with this peach color, I'm going to punch two smaller circles and one larger. And you'll see in a moment, I'm going to layer one of those up, and then the way I punch those out, it kind of balances out the whole thing. I'm going to move that doubled up one below. And then I'm going to use the triple heart punch, and that is from Stamp It Up. I'm going to use that on that peach paper and line up those little hearts all along where the gray circles are. And then I will use the punch, another punch one more time on that gray cardstock one more time, and get that little label punched out, and that's also a Stamp It Up paper punch. And then I decide I need one more paper punch. This is a Fiskars border, and I'm really only wanting the little circles that are in the border. So I'm not going to make a border out of that border punch. I'm just using the little circles that are punched out on it, and I'm going to put them on either end of that label that I punched out earlier. Then I'm gluing everything down, getting all the layers together, getting all these little hearts glued down, and then I will glue down these tiny little circles on either end of that label, and then I will place the label in just a moment. I get out the roller stamp just to show you you could use white ink and put the date on that little label, and then use alpha stickers and make a little title, and this could be a title spot for your scrapbook page. And there's that one put together. I really like the colors in that one and how that came together. I love using paper punches, so I love being able to use multiple paper punches on that border. Now this one, and this one will be our last border for this video. I am using washi tape, and only washi tape, on this border. And I know that everyone has plenty of washi tape at home, and some don't know how in the world they would like to use it. Well, this is an easy way to use up some of that washi tape that you've had laying around for years and years. So I wanted to make a summery looking border, so I'm using some red, white, and blue, and then that other washi tape reminds me of watermelon, so I thought it was very summery, and I'm going to use that along with that blue and the red washi tape. And when you're using washi tape and making a border like this, it's a lot easier if you will wrap the excess around the back, because if you start to cut it, for one, it will stick to your scissors very badly, and then for two, they tend to roll up, especially if they get warm. Washi tape will unravel really easily. So if you will wrap your excess around the back side of it, then that's an easier way to get it to stay. And like this part, I did have to cut it, and it took me a couple of tries just because it's so sticky and it sticks to your scissor blades. So I've got all of that lined up, and I decide that I want to cut out a few of the phrases from this other washi, and I don't even know where I got this washi, but it is so cute that it has little phrases in with it. So I cut a few of those out and just kind of put them here and there on the top of this border. My pictures have quite a bit of lime green in it, so that's why I chose that bright color. Usually I'm a more muted scrapbooker, but the pictures called for some lime green, so that's what we're having. I am backing all of my pictures with a black mat, and then this one picture will be off to the side, and I wanted to give it just a little more dimension, so I'm going to back it with black, and then I'm going to mat it with white behind the black. And it takes me a couple of tries to get that just centered, because the background on that picture is also dark, and then I'm matting it with black, so it was a little harder to line up. And then I will add the black mats to these other two pictures. So this will be a 3-picture layout. This was quite a few years ago, and I remembered these pictures the other day and thought they were so cute. I need to get them scrapped. And it's my daughter and our my sister's 2 daughters, and we had been on a little vacation, a little getaway, and this was kind of end of the day, and we were resting, and they were acting so silly. So thought they were very cute pictures, and I wanted to get them scrapped. I decided on that border that we made earlier that I wanted to add a little more color to it, so I'm matting it with a piece of black cardstock. And then I decide that I want to add a stamped phrase, and that is from a stamp set from a company called Gossamer Blue, who is unfortunately out of business now, but I still have a lot of their stamp sets and love them. I just lined up those 2 pictures off to the side, and now I am slowing it down just a little bit, just so I can show you my technique for repeating a stamped image. If you will start in the middle, not on the end, if you'll start in the middle and work your way out, your repeated stamped image will line up much better. So that's why I'm starting that image there in the middle, and then working my way out to the edges. And you could certainly keep going and go one more and maybe just stamp off of the page, but I liked how it ended on both ends, almost exactly the same, so it's pretty much centered. So I like how that turned out. I'm going to get this border put down. I'm just making sure that picture is going to line up and not go off of the page on the left side, or not get on the other pictures there on the right. I'm going to put that down with some pop dots, and I ran out. I only had 3, but there is always usually some excess on those, so I use every bit of my pop dot sheets. Just kind of make your own and cut around some of it and use that excess. That picture will be popped up on top of that border there. And then I want to add my title, and I'm using 2 sets of Felicity Jane alpha stickers that's been in my stash for a long time, and then that little pack of Webster's Pages, the tiny alpha stickers. And for my title, I have spelled out Our Silly Girls. Those cardstock alphas right there, the white ones, I'll have to put some more sticky behind them. They've been in my stash for so long, I think they're losing their adhesive on the back. I'm adding some epoxy dots on the left side there. I'll do it above and below that one picture there. And I can't find my tweezers, so that's why I'm having to struggle so much with these epoxy dots. Usually I take them off with tweezers and then I place them, and it's really easy. My big fumble fingers just don't want to work with them right there, so I've got to find my tweezers. And then I find these enamel pieces along with my enamel dots, same spot where I keep my enamel dots, and that's a little camera, and then that is a little geotag, and then I put a little triangle on that other picture. And then one more accent, I want to add a little phrase sticker to that one picture. It says loving this. And so that is my completed page with the border that we made earlier. And there is a very close shot for you just of all the detail, and I will also have still photos at the end. I thank you so much for visiting my channel today. Here are the 3 borders, and then the 4th one is on the layout that we made today. And if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Comment with how you like this video, and we will see you on our next video. Y'all have a great day. God bless. Bye, y'all.